Hey, it's Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach, and I'm back for another episode of Macro Social Work Your Way. I hope your day is going good. Drop down in the chat if you're watching this video on YouTube. Let me adjust my thing. Drop down in the chat and tell me how your day is going in the comments, rather. Today, at the time of recording, is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. And I was reflecting earlier with a good friend of mine about the recent celebration of my grandmother's birthday, which is the beginning of April. And my friend was asking me some questions about my grandmother, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I should talk more about this out loud. So, just like a little backstory. I am named after my grandmother, right? My grandmother is Martha and I am Marthea. So as a child, I grew up literally like my grandmother's shadow. So like what that would look like is lots of visits after school, on the weekends, during summer breaks when summer camp wasn't in, to my grandparents' house. And so my grandmother truly is a pioneer. Matter of fact, I didn't even tell my friend this the other day. I mean, tell her this earlier when she was asking me about my grandma, because she loves to hear those stories. And she was like, you should say that, you should share those some out, you should share those out loud. The other day, my hometown in Palm Beach County, Florida. If you don't know, I'm originally from South Florida, born and raised, area code 561. Um, there is a page on Facebook that tracks and frequently posts and shares in digital format on Facebook, but also in printed format, the historical facts about the Black residents of the city that I'm from, right? And so actually the other day, and I'm looking for the screenshot because I literally have a million in my phone. I think I have like 80,000 or something like that on my phone. I keep everything. But they shared out the other day in the post for the day, or the edition that went out for that week, um, acknowledgments for my great grandmother and my grandmother. Here it is. My great grandmother was recognized last month as well, for being a pioneer in regards to like community level work. And then they are being recognized in this March 2024 edition, for being educators, excuse me. And there's two different posts, but the post I'm referring to is this post regarding their recognition of my hometown's educators during the early years. And so they're recognizing my grandmother, who has her doctorate in early childhood education, and my great aunt, my grandmother's eldest sister, who also, both of them are retired educators, or elementary school educators. And so they're recognizing both of them. And so now that I'm looking at this, I'll just tell a little bad story. So I come from a long, long line of educators, nurses, nurse practitioners, mechanical engineers. Um, what else do we have now? I have little cousins, they're adults, but a cousin who's a veterinarian. I have my brother is high ranking in the military, high ranking. He is last I checked, he may be first in command now, but he was second in command on the admin side of the military, the branch that he's in. I'm sure by now he is first in command. And then I have what else? We have a mix of everybody. Everybody does a little something, right? So I think that's a pretty good descriptor. Yeah, veterinarians. Um, my aunt, My mother's sister is a medical doctor, a retired educator turned medical doctor. She went back and got her MD degree. And so, yeah, I wanted to share this because they were acknowledging them as being educators. And I have distinct memories of my grandmother. She never talked to me about being a teacher. I need to ask her why. But she would talk to me in great lengths about becoming a nurse. I'm like, Grandma, I can't even stand my own bodily fluids. I know I cannot tolerate anyone else's. I think they never taught me about being a teacher because I was very clear in the beginning. Like I didn't want to be a teacher. Now I don't really think about it. And I'm sure that was mainly because I spent a lot of my like spring break time or like that. I don't know I don't remember what it used to be back then. I was a little girl, but I know now, like, that week in between where school just got out and summer camp doesn't start for a week. I used to spend a lot of that time at the school where my great aunt worked. Did she work with my grandma? I don't know. I'm going back to like elementary school days. But I spent a lot of time at the elementary school where my grandmother worked because my grandma retired early. My grandma, I feel like my grandmother retired in her 40s. I need to ask her because she's been retired for forever. That's how I made my goal. Like, I'm retiring early. I don't even know the retirement age and have no desire because when I saw my grandma retire, I know my grandmother was not even good into her mid 50s. She was closer to 40. That's always been my goalpost. I'm retiring early like my grandma. But anyway, I have a lot of distinct memories going in like those in betweens because my mom always had us in summer camps. Always had us in extracurricular activities. You name it, I was in it. I have trophies. Me and my brothers have so many trophies. It literally takes up a room. I was in ballet, karate, softball, t-ball, jazzercise. I used to love jazzercise. I was in the local like theater clubs, like you name it, my mom had us in it. And I'm always in awe, like, I know that stuff is expensive. And I was in ballet, I was in baton. I love baton twirling. Oh, I love that. I actually had my own baton and had my name engraved on it. Um, you name it, we were in it. My little brothers were in flag football. I was the cheerleader on the flag football teams. My mother believed in extracurricular activities and summer camp. It was none of that. You gonna sit around the house and just look at the ceiling. She had us in tutoring. We were in after school program, all of the things. But I have distinct memories in between those breaks, which are few and far between. And maybe even on like teachers' planning days, where I would go with my grandmother and help her like set up her room, update her bulletin board, and things like that. And so I'm pretty sure it was those early experiences where I was like, I am not teaching anybody's kids. No, that is not for me. So my grandmother never taught me about the thing, but yeah, I have distinct memories of my grandmother being a kindergarten teacher, her and her students, and to see her acknowledged as well as my great aunt, lifelong educators. It just made my heart smile so much so that I had to screenshot it and reshare it on my Facebook page. Anytime that my family is acknowledged out loud, it serves as a reminder for me that the work that I do is in my blood. Like it really truly is because like I said, in the month of February, I think it was, or maybe it was just the early because they only share like certain pages at a time, or maybe it was still in the March edition. They were recognizing my great grandmother as a trailblazer, one of the founding members of the town. And so again, just seeing those things and seeing them in knowledge really helps keep me fueled in my mission and like my work to understand that I didn't come up with these ideas. This is just a continuation of the work that they did. It may look a little bit different. It may be in a different setting. It may be focused on different populations, but it's still ultimately all the same thing. educators prepare children for life beyond school, right? Which looks like maybe college for a large percentage of the people that went in my city because education is paramount where I come from. But it also looks like work, careers, life beyond, entrepreneurship. So again, even though I am not an educator, formally, I have taught in higher ed, but I still am living that legacy. So to see them recognize, and I wish you all could see it, but oh, you kind of can. They're right here at the bottom. My great aunt, and then my grandmother is right next to her. But to see them recognize, I was just like, Marthea, you gotta keep going, right? And so actually in this blurb that they have with acknowledging the educators during the early years, it says, and I didn't even read this the other day, investing in girls' education is the very best thing we can do, not just for our daughters and granddaughters, but for their families, their communities, and their countries. Wow. And to think my population is pregnant parenting youth and young adults, right? And my great aunt, I have tons of memories with her. My great aunt is an AKA. She graduated from Florida A&M University, the same university where I got my master's degree and currently am working on my PhD degree. And her and my great uncle, avid, supportive, financial wise alum of the university, right? They bleed green and orange, but I have avid memories growing up with my great grandma, my great aunt, and going to banquets literally at least once a month where you are utilizing formal etiquette skills. My great aunt was the one that taught me about formal etiquette skills because I was going to brunches and teas and monthly banquets and cotillions and balls and all of the things. So at a very young age, all the way up to high school, really, until we relocated. Even then, they would send for me to come down there to do the thing because I was the only granddaughter for the longest time. Like I reigned the world. It was just me and all of my boy cousins. So for them, I was the girl of the bunch. So everyone from my great aunt, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, they all poured into me. But I have distinct memories with my great aunt of her taking me to all of her sorority like events. Um, all of the things. I've gotten scholarships over the years from her association with those events. My great aunt gives some of the best gifts. Oh my goodness. Because she does not shop like at the local Targets, right? She back then she only shopped at designer stores. So I'm not even gonna get into the gifts because but she gives some good gifts, right? And so Christmas will come, birthdays come, she's gonna come. Also, a fun memory about her is that she was an avid picture taker, right? Avid. And this is in the time where you had an actual camera, maybe even a disposable camera, but you had to take your film to the drugstore to get it developed. So when I go home to my grandmother's house, I see a lot of pictures that I didn't even know was a thing. Like I don't have a lot of pictures of myself growing up, but my great aunt does. Like she has memorial, like chronicalized all of us over the last 50 plus years or so. I saw a picture the other day with my daughter when she was a little baby, because I was a young mom. I'm like, when did we take that picture? But most likely, now that I think about it, my great aunt took it because she has pictures for days. So, like, when my daughter was recently down there visiting, she's like randomly send me all of these pictures and like, who is this pretty lady? It'd be pictures from me when I was like 20 years old, 2021, 18, 17, 15, 14. Um, hold on one second, y'all. I got an Instacart order on the way. And she wants to know if I only want one bag. Yes, that's fine. One bag of salad. because they don't have to. I love when they message me. Random but fun fact. I love when they give good customer service. But hold on one second. No, that's fine. She wants to know do I know a different brand. Um, yeah, so I have lots of memories of doing like very upscale events as an elementary school. Um, and with my grandmother, we would take a lot of day trips to because I live in Palm Beach County, and so below Palm Beach County is what is it? What is Fort Lauderdale? Broward County, and then there's Miami-Dade County. So we would take a lot of day trips down to Broward-Dade County to visit my aunts. My other aunt, my mother has a lot of sisters and brothers. So I have vivid memories of doing it. I have vivid memories of my grandma of doing shot till you drop outings where we go and we leave early in the morning and don't come back until like the sun is getting ready to set with bags and bags. So I have and then I also have very vivid memories of my grandmother giving me tutoring lessons and helping me with science projects and helping me memorize Easter speeches and all of the things. So I just wanted to give like a introduction because I'm going to talk more about my memories with my family and specifically my grandmother and like how they were pivotal in the work that I do now. And so I just looked this up and I was like, I could talk about the thing, but yeah, I come from a long, long line of educators. And every time that I look back at where I am now, I'm like, how did I end up teaching people? Like, how did I get here? I was so avid about I didn't want to do the thing, but ultimately, again, it's in my historical DNA, and so it's going to come forth in some way, shape, or form. But also looking at my great aunt's picture and my grandma, I get my grandness from both of them. Like you have seen nothing until you see my great aunt. Like she is grand de la grand, right? She does nothing small at all. But that's just a quick conversation about like how your early childhood beginnings really truly are pivotal, like in the formation of where you end up going in your career, the interests that you have. And so, one of the strategies that I always teach my career coaching clients is get back to that foundation because a lot of you may be trying to figure out how did you get where you are currently in your career, and it's most likely due to some early experiences that you had in life largely connected to familial relationships as opposed to like teachers, community leaders, mentors. A lot of it most likely has come and was shaped in some way, shaped, be it good, bad, and different. Right? Whatever your thoughts is about your early childhood experiences, a large part of what you're interested in and what you do for work is largely shaped by the things that you saw as a child coming up, right? So I saw with my elders a lot of community service, community caring, community like support, give back, caring for others. So it's not a surprise that I'm doing that now in my work. It really isn't now that I think about it, as opposed to like working in corporate America. So if you're trying to figure out how you got where you are, or maybe you're trying to figure out how to get back in alignment to the things that you did like that are maybe connected to your early childhood experiences, spend some time today to think about what were some of those, who were some of those pivotal like family members in your life who maybe silently influenced your career decisions. On the flip side of that now, I know everyone does not have positive experiences. So maybe you could, if you're bold enough, if you are brutally honest enough with yourself, if you're in a place of wholeness, maybe also look to see how did those early experiences negatively impact the career journey that you ultimately took in your life, right? And what do you need to do different to create a new career path for yourself? Because just because you grew up with the thing doesn't mean you have to do the thing, right? So if you grew up only seeing others working very like labor intensive roles where they are doing back breaking work and all of the things, and that's what you're doing, and you want to escape that because you're now maybe older or after several years in the workforce and your body is breaking down and all of the things, you can shift. Just because your family has historically only done that work doesn't mean that that's your destiny, right? So think about those things, and I'll be back for another episode of my podcast. Make certain that you grab my free e-course down in the link at macroandpaid.com to learn more about macro social work careers, change making careers. Remember, I don't just only work with social workers. I work with people with Master of Public Health degrees, people with JD degrees, people with policy degrees. The list goes on. If you consider yourself to be a change maker, I work with you. All right. So I'll talk to y'all next time. Happy macro career planning. Bye.